Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Becoming One Flesh with Joseph and Yolanda. The topic that we're talking about today is hear what we did to fix our marriage. Because there was some times that the thing was a little bumpy, wasn't it?
It
It was
was.
a little bumpy,
It was.
and a lot of times we try to bring to our marriages what we had before and the thoughts that we had before.
Mhm.
And sometimes you can be too scripturally based concerning your marriage that you don't deal with the practicality of it and don't understand the simplicity of marriage. Even though it is simple, it is hard because it's a work. So today we just want to talk about what we did to fix our marriage.
Yeah, it was, we've had some rough times
Yeah.
from the start, and things didn't really calm down to probably maybe about 5 years later.
5 years, you think it was
It
that
was about
long?
five, I'm thinking. Yeah,
I say four.
maybe four, between
Yeah.
4 and 5.
Yeah.
You say four, I say five. Somewhere up in
See
there.
that?
Yeah, somewhere up in there.
Yeah.
It was a lot going on.
Yeah.
And it did take us really getting real about what was going on.
Yeah, correct.
These were things we couldn't just pray away and say the Lord gonna fix it, or oh well, it's gonna be all right. Yeah, it was gonna be all right, but we had some things, we had work that we had to do.
Yeah,
in
correct.
order to bring change in the areas that needed change. And one of the things that we did do that was very helpful that we didn't really get to do, because I think when we got engaged, we might have did one, maybe two sessions with Apostle Dorsey,
Yeah.
but we didn't continue with it. But what we did do was going to marriage counseling. That was a major shift for us, because at first when I thought about it, I wasn't sure about whether Joe was going to do it. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't. I said, Lord, he probably gonna say no. I said, but I'm gonna ask him and see, if he wants to do it. And surprisingly, when I asked him, he was right on board. He was like, yeah, we could do that.
You were surprised?
Yeah, I was.
You was?
I really was.
Wow.
I never told you that because I didn't. I was saying he ain't gonna.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, he ain't gonna. Because I think the reason why, because people look at counseling is one person get beat down and the other person get off scot-free.
Okay. All right, I got you.
And maybe they may think that the counselors are going to be biased and, that's a woman counselor, she gonna be with the woman, or that's a man counselor, he gonna be with the man.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't know, how you were going to see it, but I was glad that you did say yes. And the first session I think was really eye-opening, because she kind of I think we had to fill out. Didn't we have to fill something out?
Some paperwork out, and look at a book or something like that.
We had to fill that paperwork out and kind of talk about some things. And then what I love is that she talked to us separate.
Yeah.
I don't know who went first, but she talked.
I think you went first, and then I went.
Then she talked to the other.
Yeah.
And then she ended up bringing us back together.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped her to see, where the problems that we may have seen individually, because sometimes when you with your spouse, you're not gonna sit there and probably say everything you want to say, because you think, oh, they're gonna get mad. I don't want to throw them under the bus. So I like that she did it separate, and she never told him what I said or me what he said. It was totally confidential, and that made it, to me, I think that made it start off on even ground.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't, well, she was telling me this, it kind of started on even ground from there.
Yeah. And as men, sometimes we so private and so proud and so this and that, but it was an humbling experience, because it allowed me to kind of put the little shield down and say, you know what, man, maybe you ain't got it all what you think you got. Because sometimes we think like, man, well, it ain't, I'm doing this here, I'm doing that. It ain't about what you do, it's about who you are. And it helped me to understand some things. And really, even though we've been married for a while now, it really had enhanced our marriage, because you know what? We're more loving towards each other. We're more patient with each other. We're more understanding, and the things that may have caused a little rift earlier, they don't cause that no more. And it was a blessing, and that's what we did to fix our marriage. We tried to do it from our own individual selves.
We did.
Prior to that, and it kind of smoothed things over, but what it did, it just masked some things. It wasn't to the point to where everything was on the table.
Yeah, that's true.
It was under the table.
Yeah, because one thing she told us when she first met us, remember, she said, "Y'all are so nice to one another."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, we ain't supposed to be?"
Yeah.
But what she was saying was that we were so busy trying to keep peace, we weren't being honest with each other.
Good. That's good.
He wasn't saying what he needed to say to me. I wasn't saying what I need to say to him. And we were just, agreeing to agree, and not really getting to what was underneath everything. So that was a eye-opening thing as well, is, seeing how we just didn't really we wasn't really being honest and saying what needed to be said.
Yeah, because I learned some things I thought I knew my wife in a lot of areas, because I think I try to brush over some stuff. Oh, it's going to be all right, baby. Ain't no problem, so on, so on, so. But I understood where she was coming from, and I understood some other things. So it opened my eyes to the place that says, you know what? This is who she is. So she's going to work on who she is, but you need to work on who you are, because I try to be the rescuer, or the individual that says, well, don't worry about it, baby. Everything's going to be all right. I got you, so and so and so. But it wasn't even about that. Mm-hmm. That's not what she was looking for in me. I thought it was, because, you get taught certain things in life.
Yes, you do.
And I thought it was just like, no, that's not what I want from you. This is what I want. And when she said that, it was like, ding, wow, I don't have to perform.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Can you talk about that a little bit?
But performing?
Yeah.
A lot of times, in order, like you said earlier, in order to keep peace, we perform in a certain way, even though the things that we're performing against hurt us. Because there was a lot of things that I really didn't understand, but I said, well, this is my role. This is what I need to do. So let me do these things when I didn't have to do them. Mm-hmm. Because that's not what you needed. You just needed me to be me. And a lot of times men, we perform, we take on these roles. That's not our role. We think that, and sometimes, baby, and I'm not trying to not be scriptural, but sometimes we are too biblical in our marriages, whereas we are not natural and practical in our marriages.
I agree 100%.
So we try to, and we love the Lord, so y'all don't even look from that standpoint. But what we do, we try to apply the word of God to everything. When the word of God is everything, but the application of it doesn't apply to everything, because, baby, yes, I'm the man of God, and so and so and so. This is what the word says. It does say that, but then it may not apply to my wife. It might just apply to me. It may not apply to your marriage. It might just apply to ours. So we had to get to a common ground, not a place of compromise, but a common ground, to whereas we understood each other. We really understand each other now. I mean, I don't, and as a man, I'm talking as a man, I don't have to bow down to this. She doesn't have to bow down to that. We're like, yo, man, this is how I feel. Yeah. This is so and so and so. Okay, I got you. I'm out. So it changes the whole dynamic of the marriage, and it made me appreciate you more.
Yeah, I did too, and we just realized that we can tell each other the truth without fearing repercussions or rejection or even abandonment.
Yeah.
And that's what she was trying to let us know, is like, you need to tell each other how you feel. There's a way you can do it and not be, rude or anything about it, but there's a way that you can be honest and say what you need to say. And then she gave us a sheet that had all kind of words on it that you can say. Like if there's something maybe one of us want to talk about it, the other one wasn't ready, you can say, well, can we talk about that another time or something like that? But, she was just helping us to learn how to communicate better by just going along with each other to get along, vice just saying maybe it's something that he wanted to do or I want to do and he didn't. It's okay for him to say, well, babe, I don't want to do that. Instead of saying, well, whatever that's fine. We can do that.
Yeah.
We was appeasing each other.
That's a good word.
Yeah, we appeased each other a lot.
Yeah.
And we weren't being 100% honest with one another. And as my husband says, we sometimes as believers, we take it and we don't use it in a practical way. And I was grateful for learning that, and we learning how to understand each other, how to meet, how to give each other what each other needs.
We give each other room.
Yeah, give each other room and give each other room to be ourselves as well.
Yeah.
And so it was very, very eye-opening for us. It was a blessing that we were able to do it. We did it for a couple of months, I believe.
Couple of months, I think, yeah.
But she ended up turning us loose. She said, well, because with therapy, therapy isn't for you to go 20 years. If you seriously, it's for you to have some goals, you meet those goals and you move on.
Mm-hmm.
And so she told us, hey, my work is done here. She was like, y'all, I've seen worse cases. So it's not like when you go to, a lot of people, I think, look at going to counseling, meaning, oh, you about to get a divorce. It's not always about that. You want to fine tune your marriage. You want to make sure things are going the way they're supposed to go. And that was one of the reasons why we went. And I'm so glad that we did, because it was very helpful for us. And so what can we say? If your marriage needs it and you're willing to do it, you're going to have to be willing to be in it for the long haul. There's going to be some hard conversations you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Feelings going to get hurt and all those other things, but it comes with growth and change.
You said something just now. Every marriage needs outside counseling. Every marriage. And I'm not talking about going to the pastor or going to this. Every marriage needs counseling, because scripture says what? There's safety in a multitude of counselors. And when you allow yourself to be so vulnerable to a point to somebody else that can look at you and say, because that's what they do. That's their niche. That can see things that you can't, and I've counseled people before. Like I told you, when I was working at the VA, I counseled people, but it wasn't marriage counseling. It was on something else. And this counseling here changed me. I'm telling you, it really changed me and made me look at my wife and appreciate her so much more, because I saw her vulnerability.
Yeah, I was able to break that wall down.
Yeah, because I always looked at it like just like everybody else did. I always looked at her. She's strong. She's this. She's that. So she took on that persona of being strong when she was tore up on the inside.
That's why I'm doing this series now about the strong one.
Yeah, And I said, well, you know what? She's strong, but she's not. And when she was able to just open up and say, well, let me get naked. And I'm not talking about fleshly naked, but let me get naked and speak on what's going on inside of me. It allowed her to be strengthened, not just be strong, but to be strengthened, to where she knew that, you know what? Even though everybody looked at me from that standpoint, I didn't look at myself from that standpoint. I was just doing stuff because that's what everybody else thought I was. And I went through and I weathered a lot of storms. Even in our marriage, my wife weathered a lot of storms dealing with this joke of him, because there were some things that was in my life that needed to be taken care of that I didn't take care of. you know, and I dumped it all on her, you know, unknowingly to her. I just dumped it all on her, and she had to weather the storm. But when we went to counseling, she was able. I saw my wife cry.
Yeah, I cried so hard, y'all.
I mean, I'm saying, man, you know what? I understand my baby now, you know, because I'll cry quick now, you know. I mean, but because I never saw her cry like that, never,
Yeah.
you know. But when I did, it did something to me, you know, and I'm thankful for the counseling.
I am too.
I'm thankful. So the question is, what we did to fix our marriage? We just got open and honest. We just got vulnerable.
Yes.
We just said, you know what? Let's take the shield down.
That's
Let's
right.
take the mask off. Let's just be real about it. And when we did that, man, look at here.
Yeah, it's made it so much better. So I think with us saying that,
Mm-hmm.
we are more than likely do a series about the strong ones in marriage, about the strong wife, the strong husband, you know, the husband that may be silent, that may not say what he need, and different things like that. And I think this will be something that will be helpful for those who may find yourself in this position. So we just wanted to come on and just share. You have anything else?
Yeah, I want to say this right here, babe. Because of the rejection things I dealt with in my life, I didn't say a lot of things because I didn't want you to feel rejected. So I kind of, like you, just internalized stuff and said, well, we'll make it through, you know. And when we had the opportunity to just talk about some things, I mean, 'cause we talk all the time, but I'm just saying, talk about some things with someone that wasn't in the marriage.
That's right. Yeah, they have nothing to
They
lose.
had nothing to lose, you know, that wasn't in the marriage. It allowed me to see that, you know what?
You don't have to do that.
We don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. And it was a blessing. It really is a blessing to me. I got so much joy now, baby. I really do, because we dealt with what needed to be dealt. We dealt with ourselves. You know, and it didn't matter what anybody else thinks, says, or anything else like that. We dealt with ourselves.
We did.
You know.
And it was a blessing.
Yeah. It was a real blessing, babe.
Yeah.
It was a blessing. So I encourage everybody else to do the very same thing. Just be real.
Yeah.
Just be real.
That's what you can do.
Yeah.
So we hope that you guys enjoyed this, and we will see y'all on the next one.